Hello everyone, Father Jared here, and it is a new week, which means it's time for a new video from me. And I thought I would, first of all, just thank everyone that played a big part in all the things that have happened these past few weeks, right? We had the Triduum, we had confirmation for our teenagers, we had First Communion and May crowning, so many good things. Ladies Club helping with so many receptions, men's and nights helping with so many different things, but especially yesterday helping carry that beer for us, the BIER, the pedestal with Mary on it, and so many other people, so many people, our staff. It's just been such an awesome season of Easter already. I'm only 3 weeks in, right? So we still got many more weeks all the way till Pentecost. But I thought today I would discuss just very briefly about what's happening in Rome, right? What's happening at the Vatican as we prepare for this conclave, which is about to happen. So right now, we have all the College of Cardinals that are meeting in Rome, and all these discussions that they're having are very secret. Right? So there's a lot, you might be like, why aren't we hearing anything? It's because all these things that they are deciding on, the process taking place is all pretty secretive, right? And by pretty, I mean very. It's strictly secretive. And so they've already made decisions, for instance, for when the funeral would be. That already happened. And they've already begun preparing for the conclave in the Sistine Chapel, which means they sweep the whole place, making sure there's nothing technologically like trying to sabotage the event, right? So making sure there's no cameras or microphones or anything like that in the Sistine Chapel. And then also they would have designated, I'm not sure who these people are yet, I might just be unaware, but I don't think they've decided yet officially, but they designated 2 people to give meditations on the current problems in the church and then the need for discernment for this new pope, right? So there's 2 meditations that are given by 2 different cardinals or 2 different persons. And then in the midst of all of this, someone is in charge of destroying the pope's ring and his official seal, which I think is super wild and very epic, right? So to prevent forgery of these important artifacts of Pope Francis, someone has been designated to destroy the Pope's ring and his seal so that there won't be any forgeries. And then obviously they set the date for the conclave, which has been decided as May 7th. That means it's on Wednesday that the conclave begins officially. And so, that being said, there's usually cardinals under the age of 80 are allowed to vote in the conclave. We had that list outside in our community room for those. There might still be a few names on there left if you want to still choose someone to pray for. Usually the maximum number of electors is 120 cardinals. But it'll be interesting to see what happens because as of the Pope dying, there were, I believe, 138-ish, 134, 138, 130 something cardinals that were eligible to vote under the age of 80. And so it'd be interesting to see what happens there, if all of them will be allowed to vote or if only 120, as traditionally have been allowed to elect the new Pope. And then these cardinals have no communication whatsoever with anyone outside the conclave, right? So no looking at the news, no talking to people until the entire thing is over. And so no unauthorized persons are even allowed to enter their quarters, right? Their designated quarters, only those cardinal electors, which is pretty wild. So the conclave, it begins with a mass for the election of the Pope, and they process to the Sistine Chapel, which usually that part is on the news, right? You'll see all that. And then it's been thoroughly examined for any hidden equipment, like I said. And then each cardinal swears a solemn oath, and they're all those not taking part in this oath or all those not taking part in the vote are then removed, right? So they must all leave. Then a final meditation is given, and then the election process begins. So a 2/3 vote is required to elect a pope. There can be 2 votes in the morning and there can be another 2 in the afternoon, and it's all done by secret ballot. So then all the votes are counted and they're read aloud. The ballots are then burned at the end of each vote. And so black smoke signals no election. White smoke signals election. Wait, so that means that a pope has been elected. If we see white smoke coming out of the fireplace, the chimney of the Sistine Chapel. And if no election takes place after 3 days, so that would mean 12 votes. If there's still no pope elected, a 1-day pause for prayer then can take place if they decide, like, okay, we need a break to pray about this, right? And so if 33 votes do not yield an election, only the top 2 candidates then would enter a runoff at that point, right? So if they can't find 2/3, then they would just choose the top 2 candidates, and then there'd be a runoff for those 2 candidates as to which one they feel is called to be the next pope. And then once the pope is elected, the person must accept, and then the new pope chooses a name right there in that moment, and then he then gives his blessing from St. Peter's Basilica. So we have all that to look forward to. Very exciting event. We haven't seen this in about 20 years because technically we haven't seen it in about 20 years for the election of a new pope after one has died, right? So Pope Benedict resigned, obviously. So this is exciting for us. It's a little new probably for a lot of us, at least for a long time from now. I would have been very young, fairly young, the last election, so I probably don't remember it that well. I think I was in high school. But so much to pray for, so much to think about, and so much to be staying in tune with, as it is an exciting time to be a Catholic. It always is, but it's exciting for the rest of the world to know about Catholic things right now. And so it's important for us to stay up to date and up with the news on those things. So hopefully that was informative. Hope you have a great week. Know of my prayers for you, and I will see you this Sunday. Make good choices.